The horse reared as the bank gave way, hooves slipping in the mud. The cowboy yanked the reins hard, swung off the saddle before the beast could tumble. He hit the ground running, boots sinking ankle-deep in wet earth. Shattered wagon wheel. Blood on the sage. A torn shawl snagged in river reeds. He followed the fabric like it called his name. The river was swollen and brown, angry from last night's storm. Debris spun in eddies. Broken boards, an empty boot, a crate of dry goods cracked open like a coffin. Then he saw her, face down, half caught on a sunken log. The current tugged at her dress like a jealous lover trying to pull her back under. He didn't hesitate. The water slapped cold, took his breath. He fought the current, boots dragging in the riverbed. The log bucked as he reached her, arms limp, body lifeless. He grabbed her by the waist, teeth clenched, pulled hard against the drag. His foot slipped, dunking them both. He kicked free, surface coughing, and hauled her toward the shore. The bank was steeper than he remembered. Every inch of fight, grit under fingernails, mud on his lips. She didn't move, not even a twitch. He collapsed beside her, water streaming from his coat. "Come on, May," he rasped. "Don't you dare." No breath, no pulse, just the river roaring like it wanted her back. He rolled her on her side, pressed on her back. Nothing. Again, water spilled from her lips, but still no sign. He leaned close, mouth over hers, breathing life like he meant to pour his own soul into her lungs. One breath, two. Then she gasped, coughed, choked, curled forward and vomited river water onto the earth. He caught her before she collapsed again. Eyes fluttered open, unfocused, blue like gunmetal in a dust storm. She tried to speak, but couldn't. Her hand reached up, gripped his coat. Weak, trembling. He brushed wet hair from her face. "I didn't ride 2 days to lose you," he said. She stared at him like she didn't recognize the voice. Maybe she didn't. The river thundered behind them, angry and unsatisfied. He looked down the trail, no tracks behind, but danger never left prints that far west. His horse stood shaking and wide-eyed. He didn't look back at the wreck. There was nothing left to save there. He cradled her gently, as if afraid she'd vanish, and whispered, almost to himself, "You're not done yet, May. Not like this." She sat upright with a gasp, firelight flickering across her face. Hand went for her hip, empty. No pistol, just pain. "Easy now," the cowboy said. May blinked, chest heaving. She stared at him like she saw a ghost. "You," she rasped. He didn't smile, didn't move, just tossed another stick into the flames. "You should be dead." "Been trying," he muttered. Her fingers clenched the blanket tight around her, shivering, breathing like every inhale was a fight. "You pull me out," she said. "You were floating face down, May. Figured that wasn't your style." She looked away, into the dark. Coyotes howled in the distance, their calls sharp as memory. "How long?" she asked. "Since Dry Creek?" He squinted toward the stars. 6 years. Maybe more. She winced. "They found me. I figured," he said. "Wasn't many could flip a wagon like that, then leave the woman alive. They wanted to hurt, not kill. Not yet." Her jaw tightened. She wouldn't let the fear show. Not in front of him. Not again. "Thought you were gone," she said. "After the ridge." "I was. Drifted south. Worked cattle. Dug graves." She looked at him then, long and hard. His eyes were sunken, lines carved into his face like dry creek beds. But the firelight caught something buried in them. Still. "You still carry it?" she asked. He nodded slow, reached into his coat, pulled it out. A folded piece of parchment, brittle with time. Bloodstained. She closed her eyes. "We shouldn't have gone to Dry Creek. We didn't have a choice." She turned her head, stared at the river shadows just beyond camp. Her voice came low. "They burned the church with the children still inside. I remember. They'll come again. I know." She glanced toward the edge of the firelight. Something moved out there, just wind in the brush. "Or not. I ain't the same woman," she whispered. He answered without pause. "Neither am I." They sat quiet. The fire popped. Somewhere a horse shifted. Then she asked the question that had been building since she woke. "Why'd you come?" His reply came soft as dust. "'Cause 6 years ago, I had a bullet in my teeth and a rope in my hand. You found me at the river's edge and said, 'Not today.' He looked up, eyes catching flame. So, I rode 2 days, May. Not to bury you. Her breath caught in her throat. Somewhere in the dark, a branch snapped. She reached slowly for the knife he'd laid by her bedroll. He did the same. They didn't speak, just sat back to back, eyes on the night. Ghosts always ride at sundown, and sometimes they bring friends. The saloon doors slammed behind her like a shot. Every face turned. Every bottle froze mid-pour. Boots clacked on warped floorboards as May limped to the bar, river-wet dress clinging to her skin. "I'll take whiskey," she said, voice thin but unshaken. The bartender didn't move. Neither did the man in the corner. Black coat, spurs like razors. A scar curved under his eye like a smile gone wrong. He sipped slow, then stood. "Well, hell," he drawled. "Look what the river spit up." May didn't turn. She just took the glass the bartender finally slid her way. "I heard you died," he said, stepping closer. "I told the boys you were tougher than that. Looks like I win." She raised the glass to her lips, hand shaking. "Not dead yet, Luther." His grin widened. "Not for long, though." She pivoted fast, glass smashed across his jaw. Blood and liquor sprayed the bar. His pistol was halfway drawn when the cowboy stepped through the doors behind her. No words, just a stare that hollowed the air between them. Luther hesitated. "Didn't think he was still breathing," he muttered. The cowboy walked past May, slow and deliberate, stopping just inches from Luther's barrel. "You don't belong here," the cowboy said. Luther sneered. "And you do, Lazarus?" May's voice cut through the room. "You're wasting time. You ain't the one in charge no more." Luther's smirk faded. Behind him, a boy no older than 10 stood by the stairs, holding a rusted six-shooter in both hands. His lip quivered. His aim didn't. "Ma," the boy said, voice cracking. May turned, slowly, and her face broke. "Eli." Luther spun, too late. Bang. The shot rang like judgment. Luther dropped to his knees, clutching his gut. Blood bloomed like a flower across his shirt. He looked up at the boy, lips moving without sound. May was already moving, grabbing Eli, pulling him close. The saloon was dead silent. The cowboy holstered his gun, never even drew it. Eli looked at him. "Who is he?" May whispered. "Someone who don't quit." Bootsteps creaked upstairs. Shadows shifted. A woman screamed outside. The air changed. The cowboy stepped to the doorway, eyes scanning the street. "They'll know now," he said. May nodded, still holding Eli close. "They always do." The bartender finally exhaled. "You brought the storm with you." "No," the cowboy said, voice low. "The storm's been following her a long time." He looked at May. She looked back, steady. No more running. No more dying quiet. And no more hiding what the world had made her become. The sun hadn't cleared the ridge when the riders came. 3 of them. Dust cloaked their silhouettes. No rush, just certainty. May stood in the street, rifle in hand. Eli behind her, hands clenched tight, around second. The cowboy stepped out of the shadows of the blacksmith's porch, coat flapping in the morning breeze. He watched them approach like a man watching weather, steady, tired, unafraid. The leader dismounted first. Long duster, bone-handled pistol, and a face carved from something older than stone. Hollow eyes, empty where a man should have been. He looked at the cowboy. "I thought you were dead." "You left me that way," the cowboy said. A muscle ticked in the hollow-eyed man's jaw. "You had it coming. You always say that." May moved beside him, rifle raised but not yet aimed. Her voice didn't shake. "Heard you burned a church to smoke out 3 deserters." "I did worse," the hollow-eyed man said, smiling without joy. "And you've been running from me ever since." "I wasn't running," she said. "I was healing." He laughed once, dry, sharp. "You dragged a child into this mess." May's voice came low. "I gave him a chance to live." Silence, the kind that hums in the chest. Then the hollow-eyed man nodded to the riders flanking him. They spread out, slow, sure. The cowboy shrugged off his coat. Dust rose from his boots. He wore a plain shirt, sweat-stained, and across his chest, the faint outline of a Union sharpshooter's mark, burned into the skin like a brand. The townsfolk watched from behind cracked shutters. He stepped forward. "No more running," he said. "You want to die for her?" the hollow-eyed man asked. "No," he said. "I want to finish what you started." May fired first at the lead rider's horse. The beast screamed and bucked, throwing the outlaw into the dirt. Chaos broke. Eli dropped low and shot once, hitting the second rider in the leg. The cowboy moved like memory, fast, brutal, final. His revolver spoke twice. One outlaw fell face first. The other crawled away, screaming. Only the hollow-eyed man remained, pistol drawn, eyes dead. He fired. The cowboy didn't flinch, just raised his arm, deflecting the shot with the barrel of his own gun. Then he stepped in close, grabbed the man by the coat, and drove him into the dirt. Gun to his head. "Tell me why," the cowboy growled. "You were supposed to die," the man choked. "I did," the cowboy said, "until she pulled me back." He stood, turned away. The man reached for his pistol. May's bullet stopped him cold. Later, as smoke cleared and townsfolk stepped into the light, the boy asked quietly, "Who was he?" May answered, "The reason your father had to become a ghost." The cowboy lit a match, touched it to a cigar, and looked east. "Let's go," he said. And they did. Because legends don't stay. They ride.